Welcome back to Right Hand Drive. I thought you were gonna laugh, so I pre-laughed. All right, we're good. Right here, right. Welcome back to Right Hand Drive, guys. I'm Bobby. This is Aaron.
Yo.
And this is episode 45 of the Right Hand Drive Guys podcast.
Yes, sir.
And so we decided to do a snow choice episode.
Snow choice.
Snow choice. That's because we got no choice to deal with the snow. Yeah, we're up here in Maine, and so it's the beginning of December, and that means snow season.
For
snow
sure.
season. And
Before
we get to the good stuff, though, what does snow really mean for the majority of us Mainers?
I don't know. Most people stay out of it, right?
Yeah. It means work.
Well, yeah.
We gotta plow, we gotta shovel. Yeah, salt. Yeah. So that's the bad side.
It means a lot of work.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you only get to play like 5% of the time you got to work. So
right.
when you do get to play, the snow can be a lot of fun.
It definitely can be, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else is like? I don't know. I can compare it to like free horsepower with your car because you can just slide around everywhere.
Right, but yeah, exactly. Except you can't because there's generally traffic.
Right.
In that sense, right? But with the snow, nobody's out.
No one's out, so
everybody's scared.
Yeah, you can just act a fool.
Just act a fool.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, you've lived up here all your life, so like you've had far more of these like crazy snow days than I've had.
Right, but even I'm sure down in Nashville when whatever Rogue 3 inches or 2.5. I know it's even 1.2 inches sometimes for you guys, and you shut everything down.
Dude, yeah, it's insane down there because like as soon as they even like call for it, the whole city is shutting down. Like everyone's rushing to the grocery store, schools are out, like
they're clearing it all out.
Yeah,
it's
and like it hasn't even started snowing yet.
Yeah,
it's like just a chance. It's kind of crazy.
It's a lot different than up here.
Oh yeah,
everybody's so used to it, and so yeah, no, definitely plenty of winters on the road here for me, and I still love it just as much, and not to say that, I'm just like driving like some crazy dude on the road, but not only is there not people on the road, there's not people in the parking lots, there's not people at the stores,
right?
Nothing like that. And then all depending on where you live, right? Like up in northern Maine, there's so many miles and miles of logging roads that aren't utilized in the winter that if you live up there and you just plow your circuit. There's dudes up there that do that for sure. And so because they're all like kind of interconnected, and so they'll just make their little circuit, they'll keep that plowed, and they'll run, a lot of times it's their UTVs and different stuff up there.
Right.
Up north,
I've seen a lot of people do it on the ice too up here.
Oh yeah, that's a big thing too.
Yeah.
And like dope cars. That
right. I've seen
like
a few people,
I know Hershey brought out some of his Skylines and everything a few years ago. And but even some of these other guys like bring out their Audis and different stuff like that.
Right.
A lot of Subaru guys up here doing that type of thing.
Of course.
So definitely something you'll have to do even in your just regular, in our trucks. Like it's a blast to just like get out there and slide around and
after work just rip a few donuts and then get out of there, like
drag your tailgate on the snowbank. There's nothing better than like dragging the bumper of your car or your tailgate against that light and fluffy snowbank. It just explodes, dude, and you feel like Chelsea Denofa on the wall, whatever, it's just like crazy when you do it.
You're like, wow, this is about to hurt, but you just plow right through it, dude. Just keep it going.
Sick.
I mean,
best feeling.
Many days in the winter after work, I've done a few runs in the parking lot. Not gonna lie.
Yeah,
it's hard not to.
No, how could you not? So a quick story about that. When I lived in Colorado, I was in the military. I was on the base Fort Carson. And so it's a huge military base with a ton of parking lots, as you could imagine. And we wouldn't get like an insane amount of snow.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, the mountains would get a bunch, but we would get these, like 3-inch, 4-inch, 6-inch, usually melted within a few days, if that. And one time we got dumped on, and no one was out, and I was on base, and I was in my Evo 9 MR gunmetal gray,
Nice.
And
that was a pretty new car back then, right?
Yeah, it was. It was almost brand new. I was the second owner.
Well, shit.
Yeah. So and it was, the MR, those Evo 9s, like that was like the pinnacle of like that. A lot of people say, that whole Evo brand. So I love that one. Anyways, me and a buddy were out. I'm like, oh, dude, check this out. All-wheel drive. I got Blizzaks on it, dude. I think I'm the man. Like, there's no MPs or anything out. Dude, I come sliding into this parking lot 30 miles an hour because it's over by the swimming pool, and I thought it was a clear, straight, like, parking lot, but like I said, we got, like, dumped on, so there was 6 to 8 inches of fluff, and I was like, dude, this is going to be sick, and he's like, oh, this is going to be sick. Come in there 30, dude, hit that, like, concrete curb sideways, dude.
Yeah.
I never heard somebody's head bounce off a window so hard. My buddy's head bounced off the window. It caved.
That makes a crazy noise when someone's head hits a window.
Oh, it does.
Like,
yeah, it does.
It's like loud.
It
like,
is loud.
How is that so loud?
Yeah, and so it caved in both of the wheels. It destroyed the whole front passenger side suspension.
Jeez,
yeah, it was. Not to mention, like, yeah. It was a mess, dude, and I'm sitting there, my car's like folded in half, like during this snowstorm on base in Colorado. Yeah, so I always drive through the lots now. I do a little scouting run.
Yeah, that's always a good idea.
Yeah, so that was one of my lessons learned out in the snow.
I mean, dude, there's a lot of people that have similar stories, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I know of a few people, like, for instance, quick story, like in Nashville, we got a lot of like ice storms where it would just like coat, entire parking lots in ice.
Oh yeah.
And like it would be a little snow here and there, but like for the most part, it was all ice. And I don't know, me and a few buddies would always get together and we would go out like street drifting. I had like a Ford Ranger at the time and like
nice.
Whatever. A few of them would bring out their 240s and stuff. And like some of them were pretty nice cars and, they're daily drivers and they were just, in a snowstorm. It's not like it's going to rot out immediately right after, right?
Right.
So they're just, beating on their cars like they normally would. So we go to one parking lot. It's pretty wide open, except there's light poles ever so often. And dude, one of my buddies, he had a red S14 Zinky. It was like pretty clean car, dude. And like it was crazy. We were all kind of lined up like along one edge, and we were like looking at watching him like drift and stuff. He came around and he had his window down, and he was like looking at us. And his foot was on the brake, and he was sliding straight towards a pole. And it was like slow motion, dude. He was like kind of screaming, joking, and we were like, everyone's jaw was on the floor, dude. Smacks the pole perfectly right in between the back wheel and the back bumper. Like caves the entire thing in, but like doesn't break the tail light. Like none of that. Like all that was like
because the impact wasn't insane. It was like
right, but it was enough to cave in the entire quarter panel.
Dude,
like,
he
pretty
never
much to
did
the back
that again.
window.
Never.
Yeah,
did that again.
that went from a very nice car to a total beater in like literally seconds.
Damn, like
so
that. See, that's the thing, and so yes, absolutely. Be safe. That's the biggest thing. Be safe and be smart because your pride and joy can become a hunk of junk just
100%,
as quick
dude.
as that.
And like, dude, for me coming from down there and then moving up here, the like best thing that I ever got for like winter was like snow tires. It like made day and night difference.
Yeah, you don't
It's
think it
crazy.
does until you actually have them.
Right, like
Yeah.
you can like get some speed going with those.
Oh yeah, yeah, you can for sure, and they provide a little bit more control, and they shed the
tons
snow
of
a
grip,
lot better.
surprisingly, it's like
Yeah.
it's insane.
And so, yeah, I personally always generally use the Blizzaks. I've used a bunch of different types. I'm not trying to spend like that super upper level snow tire money, but for a good studless snow, I've ran the Blizzaks on a ton of my vehicles, and they've never really let me down.
You put snows on a 35 GTR, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I put Blizzaks on the 35 GTR, and that was last winter. And
20s, right?
20s,
that's
yeah.
a big tire.
They weren't cheap, yeah, but that was a blast. That was like a full bolt-on 35 GTR with too much horsepower for the snow. Like if you wanted, it would just like sit still spinning the tires. Like
that car was wild. It was violent.
Yeah, it was, but like it wasn't a big investment for me, so I was willing to take it out in the snow, and like we had a blast in it. We ripped it around the back roads. We ripped it through parking lots, got sideways, whatever, did donuts around light poles, whatever. But like half the horsepower would have been sick because you wouldn't have had to. I had to be so touchy with that much. Like you couldn't give a lot of input or else you got a lot back, and it was too much.
Not to mention those trumpets.
Yes, I know. Yeah, that or whatever the arachnophobia, whatever that exhaust is. That company, that thing is the supreme trumpet.
Yeah,
for sure. But no, it's fun. And so, speaking of getting cars, putting tires on them, if you had, let's just say you had $10,000, right?
Yeah.
JDM car that you were going to run in the snow and whatever, do an ice track, do some log roads, whatever, some fun type stuff. Where would you spend your money? Car price, not mods, just car.
Yeah, that's for under 10K.
Or about there, whatever.
Right.
Like
you can get like a lot of things for under 10K, I feel like, but for that, I mean, I would probably get a really nice K truck that's all-wheel drive.
A really nice K truck
for like a nice entry level.
Yeah.
All-wheel drive K truck.
What do you got to put? You sandbag? Well, no, it's all-wheel drive, but like it's just
and the engine's in the back too. So
oh, they are.
Right.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they're
for
mid-engine.
some reason I thought it was under like the cab or something. Like it was a cab over style.
Right.
Oh,
yeah, no,
I
they're
see.
in the back, like under
So
the,
it's decent.
the bed. So I don't think it would be that bad. And like, there's multiple videos of a guy that actually got in trouble for posting the videos of a guy. He's in a K truck drifting around these togeis and stuff in Japan while they're snow covered, and he's like ripping like a Honda Activa or something like that, and just like ripping in this K truck full sideways.
How sick
just
would that be? Could you imagine like just. Yeah, that would be sick. Getting in trouble, not so much.
Right. He definitely got in trouble for that, for posting it and whatever. That's part of it, I guess. But either way, my first pick for that entry level would be any sort of K truck, whether it be a Sandbar or Acti or Hi-Jet, whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean,
any of those. They're all pretty much the same.
Right, yeah, I guess that does make sense. So mine is also, a Honda if you were doing the Acti, but I would pick the all-wheel drive Honda Fiero. They're like the EG body style.
Yeah, the sedans.
Yeah, exactly. And although that comes with a non-VTEC motor, we could definitely throw a B series.
Right.
I'm sure there's some wizard out there that could put a K series in that thing.
Yeah, and those are unique because they're like, we didn't get an all-wheel drive Civic in the States.
Absolutely.
So
not.
I mean, that would be pretty cool. And as far as like K swapping it or something, I'm sure there's some way you could like use stuff like the transfer case from a CRV or some other all-wheel drive K series.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Like,
I mean, I believe it can be done. And so I think that would be dope, not just for like out in the snow, but period.
Right.
That would be sick. But that would be my pick. I would keep it Honda and just try to get that high revving VTEC get me around the
Right,
pond
right.
or whatever, and I'm sure it would. But these cars are also light,
Yeah.
and that is not always the best out there. You
Right.
know, heavy, super heavy is not awesome,
Right.
but you also need that weight to keep you on the ground and like stuck to the ground. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As far as getting some traction. So super light, maybe not the best.
Right.
Super heavy. So you got to get a well-balanced car.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I've seen like some cool, ice racing or rally in the winter, and like some of those videos are just insane. Like these guys,
they used to do it up here, right? In the wintertime.
Yeah,
right?
they've done a few things up here. Like Sunday River had a bunch of guys come with trophy trucks, and they actually raced on the mountain.
That was a Red Bull thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, up and down the mountain. It was pretty wild.
That was sick. I remember seeing
Frozen Rush is what it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and yeah, I mean, I'm not sure exactly whether any rallies were ran up here in
I thought I remember
winter.
seeing one from like way back in the day, like
probably
Group
was.
B days, like back in the 80s.
The wild stuff. Probably. That would be really cool to see.
I could be wrong, but I thought it was. But
yeah.
either
But
way.
still, I mean, there's definitely something to it, is I guess what I was getting at. Like driving in the snow at high rates of speed and like, turns and corners, and it's definitely a different rush than
Definitely another challenge that probably you don't get that often.
Right. So I'm sure those drivers that really excel at it they have like a different skill set. And so speaking of these race cars, right, and these kind of more top end vehicles, we said what would we get for around 10,000? Okay, but if there wasn't, so if you were going to race one of these races, right?
Right.
Whatever. What would your top end, no price limit, we're going to go race on this crazy snow track? What do you get?
No practicality had to do with it at all either. Like,
I mean, no, like it just has to be what you would win in.
Right.
Yeah.
No mods, there's just got to be stock.
Oh, I mean, you would, you mod it to win the race.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Dude,
so.
I know mine.
Yeah.
Dude, I do a 34 GTR, dude. It's all-wheel drive.
A 34 GTR, okay.
Dude, why not, right? It's all-wheel drive. It's got the RB26, dude. You put some BlizzX on it.
Okay.
That thing's going to rip, dude. Tell me it's not going to rip.
Yeah, no, it's going to rip. It is. Yeah, it's going to rip.
For a JDM car, like, why? Come on.
Yeah, okay, I like that.
However, that'd be different for, if I was trying to daily drive it around.
Yeah, I mean, if you were going to set it up for the snow racing, I don't see why a 34 GTR would be bad.
Right.
I mean, I didn't really think of that car because it's not known for anything like that.
Right. It's meant as like a street or road race, whatever.
Right, and so I don't know why nobody. I'm sure there's a reason, right? But like,
it is kind of wild. Like you sometimes see that, like they use like RX-7s for rally cars, for instance.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
but like, they never used
GTRs for rally cars,
right?
And they're all-wheel drive,
and they are all-wheel drive, and
twin turbo,
and also like the Pulsar GTIR. It has the same all-wheel drive system as the Tesla all-wheel drive system as the GTR.
And that was never in rally.
The Pulsar was.
The Pulsar was. Okay.
Right. So
they were involved in it. They just had a smaller car, which made more sense. Like, I mean, like those cars are generally. The Skylines are kind of big bodies for like rally, dude. You see that thing coming through?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
He's got to make a 3-point turn on some of the turns. I mean, so. But still, on the snow, that's different. Those are huge corners and like big fun,
Right.
So
if it's
a little
just
different.
something like that,
So I
Most
guess
fun.
most fun. Yeah. I guess my choice was like more along the lines of the cars that they use. Of course, I'm like
right. What are you
trying to have
thinking?
like a '07 STI, like all
Oh yeah.
dumped out with the picks in the tire, dude. Just the whole like that. Yeah. Just if there's no limit here that we're talking about, yeah, I'm trying to get that, and I want to see what is it like to drive that car for real in the snow like that, because like I've absolutely driven like in the snow sideways fast, in those senses, right?
Right.
But like never in like purpose built vehicles, like
Right.
some
That'd
all
be
drive,
insane.
some turbo, those type things, but like a true purpose built vehicle for that,
Right.
like imagine how like just the sequential alone, and like not even like worrying about like finding gears and whatnot,
Right.
is like a whole different game, especially out there when you have to kind of focus on how the rest of the car is reacting, not finding the next gear.
Right.
So just that alone with those things would probably be insane.
Yeah, I mean a purpose-built car
Yeah.
and like and on a course like whatever, like not a public street,
Right, exactly.
like that would be sick.
That would
100%. Like
that would be where it's at. So I mean, yeah, that we can keep dreaming. That sounds sweet, but I don't see them lending either of us one of those. Hey, maybe if you're listening, you guys like let us try it out. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to getting out and driving in the snow, it's kind of one of those things. Like sometimes people will start overreacting in a sense. Like once they start sliding or like something kicks out a little bit, because it's not a natural like feeling for them.
right.
And I feel like a lot of like, let's just say whatever, automotive enthusiasts, people who race cars on the weekends, whatever, they have a better understanding of like, how to react to it.
Right. Yeah.
In that
100%.
sense,
Yeah,
and
'cause
almost
they've probably
make it
been in that
fun.
situation before.
Yeah, exactly. And you can kind of make it fun because you understand, you can predict it a lot more. Like, oh, the back of my truck's coming out this way. Well, okay, let's
and it
get
scares
it back
everyone
around.
else in the car.
Oh yeah, they
So
think you guys are dead.
Right. So of course you're gonna keep doing it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and that is kind of the thing, right? Like trying to lose traction to like tease, like it's a different way of life up here. Like it's like, we're for fun. We're gonna make this person think we're going off the road. But what really stinks is when you hit the black ice. That's not that's the unpredictable one that makes it. It's not like the snow. I try not to mess around with the ice too much.
Yeah.
Because that's a whole different thing, like what you were talking about with your buddy.
Right.
Like you can in the snow, like you can still judge the rate of your slow down, like how fast you're slowing down, and you can kind of understand that a lot better. But with ice, it's like almost unpredictable.
Yeah, you can't. There's no control on ice, dude.
Yeah, I'm not into it.
I'm not either. And like I said, like being down south, like that's a lot of what we got was just ice, and like no one would be prepared for it. Like, dude, I remember it was one February. My dad and I were on the way whenever I race motorcycles. My dad and I were on the way to a track in February, like late February, and about halfway to the track, dude, all the interstates turned to ice, and there's like 18-wheelers on the side of the road. There's just like, dude, and it's crazy. Like, I don't even know how we made it through it because we're hauling a big trailer and like all this stuff, but we did. But no, like you had to know how to navigate that situation.
Oh, for sure.
So like, if you don't know how to get through these situations, maybe don't even risk it.
Right, just stay home. And that is like the thing, right? Like, yeah, we can talk about having a blast and doing donuts and skids and slides and all these things, but at the end of the day, like, we're not going out there unprepared or without the knowledge or the experience, and we're definitely being as safe as possible. If you don't have snow tires and it's snowing inches.
Yeah, if you're out on baloney skins.
Yes, if the May
even
pops
try it.
are on there,
Yeah.
don't go, dude. Like, just wait. They'll plow that stuff. Go the next day.
Yeah, or call your buddy with a truck.
Call your buddy with a truck.
Like, don't
Because nobody needs you off the side of the road or
Right.
like driving by you up the hill when you're sitting still or going backwards.
Dude, that's the worst.
Yes,
dude.
it is because
That's the worst.
yeah, I mean,
getting stuck on the road, like, or
Yes.
off the road.
yes,
Dude.
and it's happened plenty. Yeah,
Right. All you can do is just sit there and like hide your face because you don't want to get made fun of.
yeah. Call your buddy, see if he with the truck that will bring the chain.
Hey buddy, hey
and-
truck bud.
Yeah, and but yeah, I mean, I would be if I had more time, I would love to do the ice racing thing, and
Yeah.
you know, it's not like it's like sanctioned or anything. It's just some bros going out and
Right.
they plow this spot on a lake and you rip around it, but you kind of got to invest in some tires because yeah, like Blizzaks aren't it for that type of thing. You have to have like the actual, like, you take a set of tires and like stud them,
Right.
you know, specifically for that. And so because otherwise you just slide right out.
Ice,
like,
yeah.
you're not having no fun. That's why I like I was talking about the tote roads or whatever with the logging,
Yeah.
because if you plow those, then let the next 3 or 4 inches sit on top of it, you just have a dream. Like,
Yeah.
you have like this awesome like kind of course to rip around. So I like that because you don't got to do all of that studding. I see these guys putting like 400 studs in one tire,
Yeah.
and they're like
It's kind of
those
crazy.
screws, and I'm like, dude, that hopefully you don't love that car, because if a few of those come out, like, I don't know what damage they would cause, but it just looked intimidating.
Yeah, it looked a little sketch.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I'm sure for some other guys they got some other suggestions. We'd love to hear about them. Throw us some.
Yeah.
We're up here. We will be, you know, ripping around in the snow. If you got any cool ideas or things, you know, to make it more fun or get more traction, let us know. That's
Yeah.
dope.
Absolutely.
You can.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you got a JDM car from the '90s and you're driving it out in the snow, holler at us. That'd be cool to see because
Yeah, it would be
that's
dope.
kind of a rare sight because a lot of people keep these cars away.
Yeah, I don't drive my JDM cars in the snow, so
Yeah, I'm so afraid of the salt and like
yeah,
just
me too. And
corrosion immediately. But I
yeah,
don't
that's
know.
a hard
Paranoid.
part. Yeah,
So
and I've
paranoid.
heard some places they don't use as much,
Right.
and like some places use more dirt. But even so, like the snow and everything is so nasty. The roads are
Yeah.
so gross. Like, I just couldn't do it. But
Yeah.
if you live in a place where like maybe they use less of that, or shit, you don't care,
Yeah.
that's dope, dude. Tag us in the thing. Like, let's see it, because I mean, you use your car how you want, and
Yeah.
if that's your move, then that's dope. I just can't get down with it. But you can hit us up on the IG at RHD GUIS. You can find us on YouTube under the same, and we got merch now on the website rhdguis.com. And for episode 45, Snow Choice, I'm Bobby. This is Aaron.
See ya.
Peace.